Hey Insider, it's a pleasure to have you here today. I've got a special member who recently graduated from our flagship program, Life Mastery Achievers, and she'll be essentially sharing with us in terms of her experience on board, what she was able to get out of this whole experience and so forth. So Sarah, it's a pleasure to have you here today. Let's just start with the introductory question. What's your full name, where you're currently based, and what you're currently up to in terms of occupation?
My name's Sarah. I'm from Manchester, England. And before starting LMA, I was unemployed. And now I'm a business owner. I'm running my own construction company.
Nice. So we're going to, of course, go into that today in terms of how you was able to go into the career you're currently in. But let's just rewind time, Sarah. Before you came across our work and so forth, before you came across LMA, what issues or problems were you experiencing in your life? If you were to just give us like a glimpse, what was you experiencing back then?
Um, PTSD was a main one for me. Throughout my life, I've been subjected to a lot of abuse in different areas, from starting from school and then in relationships and with family as well. So I was a very timid and nervous person. My anxiety was terrible to the point where it had stopped me from doing things. Had stopped me from going out. I'd have regular panic attacks, bursts of anger, and not being able to kind of control my thought process. Always thinking negatively, and not really getting much out of life in the way that I wanted to. I knew what I wanted. I knew sort of the baseline of where I wanted to go, but I didn't know how to overcome my insecurities and my self doubt and my beliefs to actually get there and succeed in taking them leaps and doing it.
Mm. So do you recall how you came across LMA at all?
Yeah, I was watching some psychic readings on YouTube, um, obviously looking for more of a spiritual sort of approach to things.
Mm.
And I seen an advert for LMA, and it was a webinar was offered. So I liked what I seen, and it kind of resonated with me. It really sort of stuck. So I thought I've got nothing to lose. So I clicked on it and signed up to the webinar, and then went through the whole class on the webinar. And it just sort of sparked a really big sort of fire inside me that I really wanted more, and I had to have more.
Okay.
Um, so obviously you put an offer on there to get the LMA course at a reduced rate.
Mm.
And I accidentally clicked on the pay button on PayPal to pay the whole thing. And at that point, I had not a penny to my name. But because I wanted it that much, I think it was £832. I found it within 5 days to pay for it.
Wow. So you end up accidentally clicking that button and realizing what you've done, and then somehow you was able to just attract that result into your life. And
Yeah.
that's a crazy coincidence. Okay, so you had essentially you was checking out videos to do psychic readings, you're saying, and then you came across some Asian guy up on your screen who was advertising a free webinar. So I'm assuming you were totally brand new to our work, probably totally brand new to myself as well.
Yeah.
So when you was attending that free webinar, which would have been Free Secrets to Reinvent Yourself, what made you want to, I suppose, say, yeah, I want to pursue further learning with us essentially? What made you want to continue?
I've been through lots of therapy throughout my life, obviously trying to control my thoughts, my feelings, and basically just attract positivity and positive people. And it just really sat with me that out of all the therapy and everything that I've tried to do throughout the last 20 years of my life, it was just like somebody had just handed me a key to unlock a lot of stuff, and I couldn't not take it. I couldn't not take it on. I had to do it. I had to do it for myself and for my children.
Okay. And you end up taking that leap of faith. Let me ask you, if you were to be honest, what was the biggest concerns or fears you had before saying, yes, I'm going to, invest in myself and I'm going to join LMA? And what ended up putting that fear you had to rest for you?
It was fear of failing. It was the fear of failure, and also unlocking a lot of stuff that I've had tied down for a long, long time. I had a therapist that told me to get a train, and on that train I was to put all the things that I couldn't control and all the thoughts that I couldn't control onto this train. So they've been sat on this train now for nearly enough 20 years, adding to it throughout the process. And I knew that at some point I would have to start looking at these issues, because they were the things that were causing me the most problem and stopping me from getting on in life. I've got a lot of sinister things on that train, and there's a lot still to come out, but I've got the tools now to deal with it and not just keep putting things on the train. I've got the power now to move forward and take those things off the train and put them to bed.
Mm. So you end up, of course, joining LMA and essentially taking that leap. So what would you say just overall made you feel the happiest as soon as you decided to get involved in the journey and got involved with the community? What made you feel the happiest about that decision?
The results I was seeing, the change that I was seeing in myself, having everybody that's in the LMA community support me, and for me to support them and to learn from them as well, and learn from their perspective on life. And literally just, it's just so empowering. I feel, if I'm having a really bad day, then one of the members in the group is always there. He's always there, and he is a true heartfluencer, and I think he's there for everybody as well. You probably know who I'm talking about.
Mm.
The community is just as good as the course, and we're all there for each other. It's, words can't describe how I feel right now towards being a part of this and taking that plunge, and finding that money for myself and investing in myself. I've never invested in myself like this before.
So prior to LMA, am I right in saying you were more doing one-to-one sort of therapy related work? This is the first time you've ever been involved more in a group course sort of format, is
Yeah,
it?
and shared the things that I've had to share
Mm.
to unlock and move forward and let go.
Right.
But I feel completely safe and completely open to be able to share those things in that group, and that is a huge thing for me. Huge.
And I think a lot of people watching this would be thinking what you may have been thinking before, actually thinking about posting that video for the first time. Because most people who've gone through anything traumatic don't want to open up to others. So what made you believe that was okay for you? And what made you actually want to start sharing to our LMA family members?
Because of the results that you get back. It's not just what you put out, it's what you get back as well. And I think that the being able to let go of something is for not to feel shame about it.
Mm.
And if you've got people that really, you don't really know that well, I think there's about 1,800 people in the LMA group, and you share that post, and once it's out there, it's out there.
Yeah.
But then to not get any negativity back, and to realise actually, that video and that content in the video wasn't actually your fault, and you can kind of start to process the moving forward from it, and literally just learn to let go, rather than trying to learn to live with something. You can learn to let go of it. You don't have to hold on to the negativity of what's happened in the past. You can move forward.
Right. And I think a lot of people would be to relate to what you're saying a moment ago in terms of you were doing a lot of one-to-one therapy work prior to LMA. So this is the first time you're going through like a group coaching course. So
Yeah.
individuals who are in similar situations to you right now, Sarah, what would you say is the difference between one-to-one therapy and going through more like a course to do a personal transformation?
I think personally for myself, with the therapy that I've been through, I've had person-centered counselling for more years than I care to remember. I moved on to CBT shortly after that. And although the therapists that, the brilliant people, and the therapy, what they give is good, but it's only talking therapy. I need something more constructive, and to be able to sit down and work your way through and literally really think about where the core problems come from, where they originated, how they stemmed from the actual incident that happened, and give you the beliefs that you now are kind of have formed, it gives you an analogy of being able to look at whatever issues you've had and see it on paper in front of you. And you have quite a lot of light bulb moments. So something that you kind of talk with your therapist, they'll kind of guide you and lead you and paraphrase and support you and everything, but you only get 45 minutes. And 9 times out of 10, you only get a certain block of lessons to actually revisit this. Once that session's finished, you've forgotten and you've moved on. And then whatever is occurring in your life at the moment when you go back into the therapy is what you'll look at that day. So this gives you an ability to pinpoint what you're looking at, and literally the questions and the booklet just help guide you through to give you a really clear vision of how you can see what your beliefs are and what you need to do to change it. And that's where the light bulb moments come in, because things just like things are clicking all the time. And I just found it really insightful. And it's like I print my booklets off and I write on them, so it's literally just full of everything that's inside my head is in that booklet. And the more I go through at LMA, because I'll never stop doing this now, this is something that's going to be continual for me. I'll be able to look at each aspect in my life that has held me back, caused me problems, and give me beliefs that don't belong to me. I can keep revisiting until I've actually got it.
That's awesome. And for those of you who are watching this, just so you're aware, Sarah has gone through, I think, LMA twice so far. Is it twice? Live?
Yes.
Yeah. And she's actually won one of the prizes as well for the amount of commitment and effort she was giving, especially in the most recent live season as well, which is awesome. So Sarah, it's all good.
Sorry, my little girl's playing with a little toy.
It adds to the ambience. It's all good. So, Sarah, you're talking about light bulb moments. I'm sure viewers are maybe wondering right now, what would you say was one of the greatest shifts you had on board LMA that really made a difference in your life?
I've been led to believe that my life has been sort of perfect growing up as a child, and I've been given this sort of version of a story that I thought was true, but then I could never realise why I was attracting a lot of toxic people into my life. And when I started LMA and started working through the processes, it was the second time round that I did it. I actually wrote a letter to somebody that was very, very close to me, and that light bulb moment kind of clicked and everything kind of come together, and I realised where my troubles actually started. And it was a really sad moment for me to realise how it had started to transpire and where my life had started to kind of grow these beliefs and be told that something is one way when really it was another. And you know, it was my mum, and it's sad that it was my mum, and I loved my mum and she did do a lot for me, but that at that moment when I realised that I'd been lied to for all my life about a life that I'd supposedly had but couldn't remember half of the things that were supposed to have happened, I realised that they didn't actually happen, and it was like a facade that my parents had kind of given me to protect me from the abuse that had happened within the family, you know. And once I'd let go of that, it gave me the ability to kind of process it properly and grow from it, rather than it hanging around my neck like a weight and pulling me down.
You're referring to week 2 sort of exercises, am I right in saying?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you shared a wonderful analogy actually during that breakthrough when you were sharing the live stream, because you was sharing the exercise on the live stream, and you was talking about putting things on a train, and the exercise allowed you to, what was it? What, I can't remember how you phrased it, but take this train off the cliff or something, if you remember.
Crash the train, basically. It allowed me to kind of take all that off the train and literally just, I can't really say because I think I swore in my life, so I won't swear on you, but I literally just wrote the train off.
That's awesome. So you're saying when you joined LMA, you were unemployed, and now you're in a construction, is it construction business?
I've started my own construction company. It's not easy, and I've kind of ready, fired and aimed with this one. I've got experience, obviously. I've been in the construction trade, working for other people for a long time
Mm,
and building their businesses up. And then it got to the point where I kept on getting let go. You know, things would get tough because sometimes in the construction industry, it does get hard, you know, when customers are not paying and things get a bit tight. But then I just get let go. And I think at the beginning of lockdown, I've been let go from my employer because they couldn't afford to stay open with the current climate and financial commitments that they had. So they let all the staff go, and I thought, I can't do this anymore. You know, I've been wanting to start this business, and it's not just the business that I'm starting, and I'm heading towards starting a charity as well.
wow.
I just need the right tools to get to that point, which LMA is providing for me at this moment, because I
Mm,
can't help other people unless I can help myself first. But I wanted to start the construction company for about 5 years, getting into property and renovation and new builds. And when I started LMA and I started going through the process, it's like I have got the ability to do it. I didn't believe in myself before, hence the reason why I never started it.
mm,
But as I've got through the process of it, I started to believe in myself. And I don't know where it came from, but I just got the courage to just go for it. And, you know, every failure that I've come across, I don't see it like a failure as I did before, because me failing before, I'd stop. I wouldn't carry on. I'd just completely stop. I'm useless. I can't do this. And then I wouldn't move forward.
mm.
This time I'm hitting failures and I'm learning from them, and it's growing me to move forward and keep going.
Wow.
I registered my company now, so my company is actually a real entity. Of everything that I've got on my vision board is kind of becoming real. It's becoming a physical entity in the real world. It's not just in my head anymore.
Mm.
You know, so I'm really proud of myself at the minute.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. Operating from the future self.
Yeah,
This, yeah, that's awesome. One of the final questions is somebody watching right now is exactly where you were, totally probably brand new to our work, probably totally brand new to the concept of maybe even group coaching, whatever it may be. So what advice would you give to somebody right now sitting on a fence of possibly joining LMA, but they're kind of like in a limbo? What advice, having now gone through it yourself, what advice would you give to that person?
I'd say give yourself a chance. Nobody else in this world is going to give you a chance unless you give yourself a chance first. And if you join LMA, then you won't regret it because you will just open doors that you didn't think would ever be able to open. I've opened doors now that I've locked away for a long time. And I just thought that them doors were just going to have to stay shut because I didn't know how to deal with what was behind them. And the tools that I've got from LMA, it's not just dealing with like conflict of yourself or conflict with other people, it's just literally a complete lifestyle change. And it's a positive lifestyle change that I can't live without now.
Well, Sarah, like you said earlier, this is not the end for us. You're going to, of course, still continue on this journey. So it's a pleasure to have you on board. Pleasure to journey with you over the upcoming months and years and so forth. So let's keep doing whatever it takes. And thank you so much for your time today.